18, which is referring to escrow. So this paragraph explains the duties and responsibilities of the title company, aka the escrow agent, okay? The escrow agent is an independent third party without liability to either party. That's kind of what that's saying there. B is talking about the escrow agent will apply earnest money first to cash down payment, then to the buyer, and will refund any excess to the buyer. If the transaction does not close, escrow officers may require a written release from all parties, require reimbursement of expenses, advancement, and deductions that amount of unpaid expenses incur on behalf of the third party receiving the earnest money. So it may come out of that. But it's just kind of breaking that down. Let's talk about demands. When a contract is terminated, the escrow officer will refund earnest money to authorize by both parties. If only one party makes demand for the refund, escrow agent notifies the other party, who has 15 days to object. The escrow agent will hold the earnest money until distribution is resolved, usually up to 3 years, at which time the earnest money will be sent to the state of Texas general funds. So even though, you have these things where they get the earnest money back, both parties have to sign off to where the money is going to go in order for the money to be released. All right. D is saying failure or refusal to sign a release acceptable to the escrow agent may be grounds for a lawsuit. So if you know that money's not due to you and you just won't sign it, you may be open for a case. As well as E, and that's pretty much saying the escrow agent will use information in paragraph 21. We kind of looked at 21 before, which we're going to get to right now, in order to notify people in writing. So it's going to be important as agents to make sure paragraph 21 has something in it, all right? And we'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about paragraph 19. Again, there's nothing in this paragraph for you to actually select. It's just to be cognizant of it. And pretty much it's a reminder that these contract terms survive closing. So if the seller misrepresents any terms of this contract, the seller will be in default. So even if you think, oh, we close this over with, no, if they find out that anything that you said before was untrue, they can come back and sue you, okay? Sellers may continue to show the property and receive backup offers. So even though we're under contract, that does not stop the seller from showing the property to other potential buyers and up until closing, okay, and receiving backup contracts. 12 is federal tax requirements. This is a very interesting one that there's nothing for you to check, but you as a seller's agent, you might want to, working with a buyer, be careful of sellers that are considered foreign persons. Because title company will coordinate with the IRS and applies to homeowners who are not U.S. citizens and they sell their property. Buyers who are not citizens should be advised of this requirement as part of buyer's representation agreement. This is saying that pretty much if the seller is a foreign person and the buyer is not a foreign person, the buyer is who's going to be withheld taxes for the seller's selling the property. The buyer is who's going to be paying the taxes, possibly. That's kind of crazy, but you do need to know that. So as a buyer's agent, if you're representing a buyer, you want to keep an eye out to make sure the seller is not foreign, because this could mean that your buyer may be subject to withhold taxes, pay their taxes on the property, all right? If you have more questions about that, I would reach out to the title company. If you're not sure if your seller is a foreign person, that's something you should definitely get from the listing agent, okay? Now let's get to notices. This was just recently updated a little bit because there was a lot of times where agents would put their information at any time up here, all these spaces up here. This should not have any agent information. Only agent information now goes here. You can put your phone number, your email, whatever, but agent information, contact information goes here. Contact information up here is going to be for either the buyer or seller, and you need at least a minimum of 2 sources should be listed. 2 emails, a phone number or address. I highly recommend against the phone number because then they're calling each other. That can get weird. But emails and the actual mailing addresses where they can send things, that's totally fine as well, okay? And when you get that back from the other agent, I would ask them to make sure they put in the seller's information so they can contact them as well. So that's going to be it for those, and we'll get to paragraph 12. I'm sorry, 22. Moving right along.